preserve your memory and favorite days. Come online to the newest craze, the digital scrapbook, the way you want it to look. With digital scrapbook kits, fun and full of wit, you log in today, you won't be able to quit. Come on over and you'll think it's the bomb.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. Obviously, if you've tuned in, you've seen the photos at the beginning of the video, and you tuned in enough in order to say, hey, I'd like to see how to make that. I'd like to see it in a little more detail. So here's our card. It is a beautiful card using our Petals and Parasols collection, and the elements and papers in this are so nice. The other thing about this card is it's so easy. This card here is literally, there's one little piece of paper up here, which is about this big. I'll give you sizes and stuff in a second. There is our border, there is our Thoughts of You tag, there's our butterfly, there is the pink sheet, the teal sheet, and this tag. So the whole card is actually 3 little pieces of paper, which you could print off on one sheet, and 4 elements. So how easy is that in order to make this beautiful card? So let me zoom in for you on the border here. I want you to be able to see the border here. Look at the roses in that border. Unbelievable, the detail in those. And that is done for you. The Mary Fran does such a wonderful job with making the elements so realistic like that, that it makes, that's why you can make this stunning card. So this card is 5.5 by 5.5, and this is just a piece of, I used a piece of simple cardstock, just white cardstock, as you can see from the inside here. It's just white cardstock, folded it over in order to give me my form. When you're doing it, let's just talk about the face of it here. This, like I said, this piece of paper, and here's a little tip for you. You only need to print this piece of paper this large. It's 5.5 inches wide, and it's about 3 inches deep. You don't need to print, obviously, the whole thing because you're covering it up. So that'll save you on ink. That'll save you on paper space, like for how much you have to print. Then that way you only have to print one page that has all 3 papers on it, and 1 page for your elements. So, you know, that makes it very, very simple for you. The border and also the background papers, we did shrink them a little bit. When you're creating, and you can see on our how-to section on our YouTube channel here about how to resize things and stuff like that, using even something as simple as Microsoft Word. There is a video for that for you, so take a look at that once you're finished this. But basically, when you're resizing, the whole idea is in order to get this pattern about like what looks good to you. We've taken this border, we've shrunk it down a little bit, but we've also trimmed it, right? And so then that way at the 5.5 wide here, so that you can actually fit it on your card properly and everything else. But you shrink it to however much you want. That's the creativity of this all. You may want this larger than this and cut more off. You may want it smaller than what I have and shrink the whole border down so that it's 5.5, because maybe you want these roses to be smaller, more in this size up here to match these ones. You decide. That's the great thing about making it. The other thing is as you can see from the inside you can see, oh, that's cut exactly like that. And you can see how nice and jagged those edges are there. Basically, when you fold your card over, you're going to have a little bit of white cardstock on the bottom. And I just took an X-Acto knife, cut around it after I had glued this on, and then you get this nice appeal where you can see the inside pink backing paper from the inside, and it just gives it a neat design phase when you can see that. Obviously you can see how that is cut away. We got that idea from one of our design team members, Crazy Paper Chick, and thank you for that. I liked it so much I wanted to try it in this card, and I think it turned out excellent. The other thing to mention on the front is the Thoughts of You tag, number 1. The tag comes as you see it, other than Thoughts of You. I wrote those words on there. You could handwrite them on if you want, or again, I show you how in our how-to videos how to actually put that on first. Just type that on when you're in Microsoft Word or any other program, graphics programs, whatever. So you can type that on and then print it out as that with the words on it. Now, I didn't want to handwrite because if you saw my handwriting, you'd be really focused on that thinking, is he writing a prescription? You know, I'm not quite sure what that is. The last thing on the front here is the butterfly. The butterfly, this is one of several butterflies in the kit. This is a really pretty one that I happened to choose. And what I did with it is obviously when you print it out, you get a flat butterfly. This is all connected. As you can see here, I've cut the wings before I pasted it down and just pasted down the lower portion as well as the body. Again, another thing we got from our design team member, Crazy Paper Chick, is she did this with some poinsettias on our sparkle collection for some of our Christmas stuff, where she rolled these. And all you do to roll it is simply slide your pencil or whatever dimension, maybe you want to use a paintbrush, maybe you want it a little thinner, not so thick of a pencil. But all you do is slide this underneath and just bend over. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get my hand out of the way. Just bend it over, slide it out a little bit more, bend it over again, and the paper keeps its form. So that's really the only instructional part to this video. Other, you know, obviously it's just making a card and pasting things on. So those are just a couple of the things I wanted to show you. Lastly, on the front, these little roses, these little flatback pearls, those are all from Wild Orchid Crafts. Those are cool. That's a great company. They produce all these superior looking items, and I'll give you a link to their website in the comments section here below. But if you don't know about them yet, I'm sure a lot of you do, but if you don't know about them, you really need to check them out. They're very reasonably priced. It ships out quickly for you. It is a great thing. And these are called open roses, and these are in two different sizes. I believe the large one is a 15 millimeter, and this one is a 10 millimeter. So that's that. On the inside is a tag, which also comes pre-made. That is all comes stock right out of the kit. You just simply print that image out. I didn't add a single thing to it. You can even see the highlights and the shadowing on the butterfly. Mary Fran does all that for you, so you can easily and quickly create a card like this. We like the idea of putting in the contrasting background paper with the teal. Again, shrunk it a little bit just so the pattern looked right to our eye. That's the only reason for shrinking. Don't worry if you shrink it and you think, well, I only need a 5.5 by about 3.5 inch piece of paper, but my printed piece is like this big. You just trim that off and off you go, right? It's all about what size the pattern looks like to you, to your eye. And that comes very quickly once you've just done it a couple of times. You'll get that down, no problem. The only other thing on the inside is I added a little bit of lace trim, just something from our stash, just to give it this whole kit has that vintagey kind of cottage chic, shabby chic kind of feel to it, and I wanted to enhance that on the inside. I left this tag blank because this is where I would handwrite in a sentiment. Whether this is a Mother's Day, it's an anniversary, it is an engagement, it is a Valentine's Day card. There's so many uses for this kit that any sentiment can go in here. So I wanted to leave that blank so that way, you know, give you the ideas that you can do anything you want with it. So that is our card. I hope you enjoy this card. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask stuff in the comments or send us an email through our store. That we're always happy to help out. We always want to help everybody along. If there's something that we know, we're happy to share knowledge. And I hope that you'll try making this card yourself. Go over and check out our Petals and Parasols kit. There is so much more to it. These few elements and papers that I used in here probably are not even 1/20th of what is actually in the kit. There's parasols, there is fans, it's very vintage, there's dress forms. It's a very vintagey kit. So be sure to go and check it out. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you'll give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any videos. And tune in again to see our next project. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.